at the end of it, just to go
It was
from da 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 da. Because the
instinctive.
man was an artist.
He was an artiste.
How did Picasso know where to put a brushstroke? How did Bob Ross know when to poke his hair out? Did they know, right?
They had a feeling.
They had a feeling. They know when these things are supposed to happen and how it's supposed to go, and they do it. Good morning, Michael Knight in Pasadena. How are
Lo
you?
and behold. Pretty good, Vinnie. How about you there in Edmonds, Washington?
I really suck. Yeah,
What's the problem?
I'm not a happy camper this morning.
Is it the atmospheric river?
No, atmospheric river. I mean, I've got, I have Al Green singing "Take Me to the Atmospheric River." What else do you need?
Does he want to be taken there in an automobile or in a wagon?
He wants to go with Neil Young, who's down by the atmospheric river. So I think that between him and
Talking
I'm sure that there's some other river songs that we could come up with who are easily adaptable to the atmospheric river. To be honest with you, after Monday's kind of torrential rain, I haven't seen anything that closely resembles any kind of river. Although I understand, and I haven't seen it, I might even take a ride out there today, but I understand that North Bend has had some problems, that part of a hillside
I
went down off the...
So the Puyallup River was very high.
Yeah, things are always high down in Puyallup. I mean, it's nary a time when you go to Puyallup and the Hewitt boys aren't out there high.
There's another Hewitt boy coming along. He's going to be the best of them all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, listen, they're the acknowledged kings of football. I mean, they took the reins over from Don James, who, as you will quite remember, the week I got here, got on his horse and snuck out of town. We don't like to remember that, here. We like to remember, all the wonderful things like bringing a half national championship.
Or all the used Camaros that he had.
Well, that's why he had to get out of town. And the famous line of
who's got the pink slip on the Husky Camaros?
Yeah, well, probably the Chevy dealers on Aurora Avenue, I would think. I don't want to name any name, but so a lot. I find that, and I've worked with the dealer association for a couple of years, and find that many of the dealers are actually Cougars. Washington State Cougars seem to be the order of the day much more than Huskies.
It's an interesting observation. Oh, excuse me. The trail to Billy Joe Hobart's Camaro can be traced right back to the Cougars.
Well, now I'm not saying that particular Camaro came from a Cougar or anything. I'm just saying as a point. I mean, I know, the predominant Cadillac dealer in town is a big time Cougar. As a matter of fact, I sat with him at the Rose Bowl several years ago with Brad Brotherton and his dad and his family. They were kind enough to say to me, "Hey, don't sit up in the press box, man. Come on down and hang out with the Cougs." And which is always much more fun than the press box. Even if it's the Rose.
This box is interesting and convenient and professional, but it's not fun. It's not meant to be fun.
Well, yeah, it's you go there and it's either a bunch of people who've been covering the game too long and covering up for the game too long, or it's a bunch of people in whatever color jacket that the particular bowl is handing out that year. And they've gotten the nice ones. They've got their hands on the actual, ones that they sent to Barney's for. And, or actually, no, Barney's would never do anything that garish. Uh, who's the guy down in Memphis? Um, Landry, I think is his name is the guy that does Elvis's, and many of the musicians that wear, the cool jackets.
The Vegas jumpsuit.
No, well, no, I don't think they do the Vegas jumpsuits. I think they do the actual like jacket. With the stuff on it, the scrolls and all that other stuff.
You don't mean nudie, do you?
What?
You don't mean nudie? Nudie of North Hollywood?
No. It's Landry and Son. I think they're in the Peabody Hotel in Memphis. I've been to the store actually.
And do they sell sparkly purple boots?
Well, I don't know if they have purple ones. I wasn't looking for sparkly boots, but I was looking for clothes when I went down there. And they had a really nice selection of stuff.
I should mention before we finish with this Memphis story that I'll be leaving early today because I have medical responsibilities for my wife, who has a brand new knee and is recovering speedily. And Kristen is going in for her second post-op review, and it's already started a physical therapy. So we're progressing quickly with this new knee. And it gets a little sore sometimes, but it's responding to treatment, and it is flexible, and she's walking freely without a walker, without a cane, without any assistance. So all that is good news. We just need Dr. Dietrich to take a good look at it, maybe an x-ray. And so pushed forward by that duty of mine, I'll be leaving early today. My apologies to all, and my thanks to Vinnie for accommodating me.
Well, yeah, we did. We work together. That's the idea. So anyway, well, I hope everything turns out all right. Obviously.
Well, I think we're not the least bit worried about it. But this suit that you saw, what color was it?
Well, the store is Landry and Sons. It is in the Peabody Hotel in Memphis, and they were the clothier to Elvis. They started out when Elvis had no money, and he just gone from driving a truck to driving young girls crazy. They would extend him his jackets, his performing jackets, on credit. He could go there and pick up whatever shirts he needed, whatever stuff that he needed to perform. And they would say, all right, give it to us when you got it. And thus formed a long relationship with Elvis, the estate of Elvis Presley, and the Graceland people, and Landry and Company. Landry and Sons, I should say, which... And go to their website if you ever get a chance to. They have some incredible stuff. The only sad thing about Landry that I've had my complaint with them over the years is they don't acknowledge that anybody over an extra large exists in the world. So I would have to think that I don't know where name a Jelly Roll goes if he needs to get a jacket. I would have to go to the same place. But there are custom tailors, I believe they're in Vegas, that do that kind of stuff. It'll build you a jacket. It gets expensive.
For performing.
Yeah, well, yeah, for performing or for just wearing around. I mean, if you're a performer and you come off stage, you got to have a certain grade of clothes. Well, you don't have to. But
You
if you
don't
want to
have to.
build a persona for yourself, if you
You
want to
really
build
should.
a profile, um, before the days of social media where you just had to slap your face on, some kind of social media, um, you went down to a place like Landry and you got yourself a nice jacket with all of the stuff on it that you wanted, or a nice shirt. I have several shirts from Landry that probably don't fit me well anymore. But some of their shirts, especially their kind of those jacket, we used to call them jacket shirts when I was a kid, but they're like the
Leisure suit.
no, not a leisure suit at all. It's a shirt that's made to be worn not tucked in outside. There's usually a little type of not a Sansa belt, but a little belt-like apparatus at the hem, at the bottom of it, and they're worn loose fitting. It's not a tight shirt; it's a loose fitting shirt, and they're most popular among performers and mafia guys. So
There's
this.
another series of shops in basketball cities where the NBA crowd goes to get special fit. These are guys who are taller than the usual man, longer arms, longer legs.
Yeah.
Takes a specials tailor to be able to get the fit right. Then the colors, the designs, the patterns, the extras, all the frills, all the
Well, you
the
want a
market.
pocket for your gun. I mean, you have to get a pocket for your gun. You
That's a good
can't just
idea.
have it on your hip. I mean, you have to have it in
Special pocket.
a special pocket. Who used to be the guy? Who was it? Mario's in downtown Seattle used to fit that bill, didn't he? It wasn't Mario's the place where all the basketball players went and got their suits.
That I don't know. I
Yeah,
know that
yeah. It was a place called Mario's. I think they were on like 6th Avenue or something like that. Small store, but if you're a big basketball player, you generally can't walk into Nordstrom's
no, you
and
get no love there.
yeah, and get a nice piece of clothing if you don't want to buy the off the rack stuff that. And even today, with all the improvements that have been made in big and tall clothing, and I've done commercials for Kaufman's, which was always the best. What was the other place I did commercials for when I was in San Francisco? Oh, Rochester, which was a huge one. It was on 3rd and Mission. And again, they didn't make custom made clothes, but they kind of took it from, the only thing that you could get is either a black or brown pair of pants and a white shirt. They took it out of that and into, some nice stylish clothes. Because you couldn't get, if you're a big guy, you really couldn't get, there wasn't a big variety of clothes to be had before the late 80s, probably be the line. But I remember going to Rochester and you walked in and, they pointed you toward the rack and it was black or brown.
You can have anything you want as long as you want it in black and brown.
As long as it's black or brown. So I applaud places like Landry that that used to. They don't do it anymore, or at least maybe you have to have go in and order a certain amount of stuff. But Nat Nast used to be another shirt that used to, I've got, a collection of Nat Nast shirts that I've had for 20, 25 years. A lot of those shirts. And those are those like kind of panel shirts that you see. And again, that's a company that decided to stop making bigger clothing just at the time that America fattened up. You know, I
They
mean,
missed their target perfectly.
yeah, who's an extra large these days? I mean, you go into, especially you go into a Walmart or a Target or something like that. There's nobody in that store that's extra large. There's 2 and 3 and 4 and 5X. Um, I'm small compared to some of these people now. Um, and God bless them. But there's, you walk down the aisle in a Walmart and there's a heart attack waiting to happen in every rack.
Heart attack waiting to happen at every rack. There's a song there somewhere.
Yeah, there's a heart attack waiting to happen at every rack. Yak, 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 yak. Sounds like Billy Joel should get on it right away. You can never argue with a crazy man. You ought to know by now. There's a heart attack waiting at every rack. Is that all you get for your money?
Thank you, Billy.
See, we got Billy chopped up. So I've taken a double hit over the last 2 days, and I'm pretty pissed off about it.
What happened?
Well, yesterday was Edwin Diaz going to the Dodgers.
Yes, he did. Reliever.
Take you and your asshole trumpet and get the hell out of town. And just breaking across the wire this morning is that Pete Alonso is going to sign a deal with the Orioles.
Wow.
Now, I don't know,
where's the Mets resolve? I mean, that's a silly person to let go.
Well, I would have never let him go. I would have signed him during the year last year, but they went through this dog and pony show last year. And I guess that his agent, I think it's Boris, just didn't want to go through it this year. If you remember, they didn't sign Alonso until almost a week before spring training. And I think he wanted
But they played him all year at first base. They had no problem putting him in the lineup.
Yeah, he wanted to be loved.
And
for whatever reason, whether the owner of the Mets is too busy trying to figure out how to build his casino on the top of Sambucci Brothers junkyards over there in Willets Point, but they didn't seem to want to pay the proper attention to Pete Alonso. I would have paid this money out to this guy, and been done with it. I would have extended him before the year was out, before the season was done. But they evidently feel like something better is coming along, and all you have to do is look at the Oakland A's to figure out where that went. And Mark McGwire and Jose Canseco.
I wonder if there are prospects in AAA or AA that give them reason to believe that they got somebody to take Alonso's spot.
Well, it frees up a lot of money so you can go out and sign somebody else.
Yeah, they're going to have to sign a reliever now that they...
Well, no, they signed one already last week. They signed, I can't remember his name, but I think they kind of knew that the Edwin Diaz thing was coming. And to be honest with you, it didn't seem like they wanted to. I mean, they made him an offer that was comparable, but I think Diaz was a guy that just wanted to change the scenery. We forget that ball players sometimes just want to go somewhere else. They played however many years in a city, and they decide that it's time to go. I want to live the LA lifestyle.
That's it's a big change going from Queens to Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, but when you have the kind of money that Edwin Diaz has, it softens the blow.
Oh yeah, you'll manage. He'll fit in somewhere.
Evidently, uh, and you don't know what to believe and what not to believe, but it seems that one of the sticking points is the Alex Rodriguez rule, and that the player that they're trying to sign wants to have input as to which players that they bring in, like official input, like Edward Diaz has to be able to sign off on a player that the Mets want to bring in. Like they got to go to him first and ask him if it's okay if they bring this player in.
Yeah, that's a little awkward in baseball hallways.
I think it's awkward if you're running a gas station.
Yeah.
And do you go out to your number one pump attendant and say, "Hey, I'm thinking of bringing a guy in that works at the Shell down the street.
But we have to run it by. I'm running it by you.
And if you don't want him, we won't bring him in, even though he sells more motor oil than anybody in the whole Southern District of New York. But so." I'm never. I'm not a. When somebody says I want when a player says I want to be, I want to have input in personnel decisions. I'm a lot more of a guy who says, you know what, shut up and play ball.
We're not going that way.
You worry about getting guys out, and I'll worry about.
Yeah, as it stands, you play ball, and I'll run the front office.
Right. The manager and I will figure out who fits and doesn't fit. And if you want that kind of power, well, you're going to wake up in Los Angeles. But it's still, the guy was a stud. He was a star. He was a guy that you wanted on your team as far as a player. He's a shutdown reliever. And so to lose him is a big blow.
Well, the Giants have taken a similar point of view, but they've taken it further than the Mets. They're not going to sign anybody new. They pick up a guy here for a year. They pick up a guy there for an affordable price. No superstars. No people who are going to come in and change the way the opponents pitch to us. No change in the lineup, no change in the bobblehead scheduling. Don't you worry about it. We got this all figured out, and we're going to do it without new people. Don't worry about it. Don't fret about it. If you loved last year's team, you're going to love this year's team. Same guys doing the same thing for the same price, and we expect it to be completely different. We expect the outcome to be remarkable.
Well, yeah, and again, we don't cover the team every day, so we don't know. There was a lot of stories about a lot of discord and disharmony in the clubhouse with the Mets. Obviously they weren't the same team a quarter of the way into the season. Something happened there. I don't know what it was. It still isn't 100% clear. It depends on which reporter reports on what he saw. But
it seemed to make a difference in the team, though, right?
Oh yeah, there were two different teams. They were. They were. I forget what it was. Something like 31 and 10. A quarter of the way into the season, and as we know, they didn't make the playoffs. Just a horrible collapse. And depending on who you believe, it was bringing Soto in. It was Lindor wasn't happy. Then you got the guy who leaves, and they get the story that he didn't like the mayoral election. So with Mondami coming in, he wanted to go. It's all sorts of bullshit that you hear. And who knows, unless you're there every day, you don't know. And even if you're there every day, you don't know.
And it's funny that there are some teams that never suffer through those kind of rumors, that never seem to have something going on with the players reps that demoralizes and deconstructs the team. Some teams never go through that. And
Yeah.
some go through it every year. One thing
Well,
the Dodgers are free of is they're free of that kind of nonsense. If you don't want to play for the Dodgers, they'll figure out a way to get rid of you.
yeah, for the most part. And if you want to play for the Dodgers and you're good, they'll figure a way out to bring you in. Look at Freddie Freeman. There's a guy that they figured out a way to get him in there, and he had, people forget that not even 6 months, 3 months into his tenure with the Dodgers, he was asking, or sources said that he was asking to get out of there.
Why did I come to this team? I wanted to stay with Atlanta.
Right. He had been quoted as saying he made a terrible mistake. He didn't want to stay there. He wanted out. He didn't want to deal with L.A. or the traffic or the people or anybody. He didn't want to have to, he didn't want to have a locker next to Kiki Hernandez.
But you know what? Winning cures all that. Takes the doubt right out of it.
And money.
And he's a Southern California kid. He grew up in Orange County.
Yeah, but as you and I both know, sometimes going home is not the best thing. Sometimes it's better not to play where you grew up, because this way you don't have all of the people that you grew up with looking for tickets, looking for this, looking for that, looking for you to show up at their kid's birthday party. Look at all the stuff that goes along with playing in a place that you grew up. It's never a fun thing to be famous in a place that you grew up in.
Because everybody on your high school softball team wants to come to the game. Vinnie, can you get me tickets?
Yeah, and everybody wants to come to the game. Everybody wants you to get them an autograph. Everybody wants you to get them a baseball. Everybody wants you to, chat up their kids. Can you do this? Can you do that? It's and people have no holds barred when it comes to asking for stuff.
Well, right? I'm sorry about Pete Alonso, Ben, because I know he was a favorite of yours. He was the polar bear. He produced, he hit, he contributed, he wanted a better deal. For whatever reason, the Mets made it clear over a period of years that he was not going to get one with them.
Yeah, he was the heart. I'll still say that I considered him to be the heart of that team. I just thought that he was the guy that held in a place where it's hard to hold the team together. He was a guy that held that team together. He was a guy that at first quietly was the glue. And he truly was the straw that stirred the drink. And I don't know who the straw is going to be. We didn't get a chance to talk about Jeff Kent and his ascension to the Hall of Fame. What did you?
I think deserving. I think most deserving. He was a hitter. He was a player. He was a leader. He survived the fans' judgment, even when Barry Bonds was being a real asshole. And Kent wasn't going to take any of that. And he didn't take any of that. He came to play ball, and he was going to hit the ball. Great power hitting second baseman, most home runs by a second baseman. And a player that, when he was introduced in the beginning of a game with the Los Angeles Dodgers, where he played later, it was a quiet moment before the national anthem. The TV directors getting close-ups of all the players, and they introduced Jeff Kent. Today, second base, Jeff Kent. And there's applause, and it gets kind of quiet, and somebody else, Kent, you stink. And it just rings through the stadium, and it made him laugh. And I thought that was my favorite time of Jeff Kent time. Was he had left the Giants, but was still a factor. And They didn't forget to give him hell on the field like they always did. There were people who never liked Jeff Kent because of his attitude and
Yeah, he had
his
that whole
persona.
motorcycle accident deal that I think soured him with some people, especially some of the media people, because you can never lie to the media because the media never lies. The baseball beat reporters never lie. They never make up stories. They never say anything that's not true. So, when I forget what his excuse was, but I remember it was a dilly. It was a good one. And then, the news came out, I guess, that he got into a motorcycle accident, filed the police report. Somebody had gotten tipped off that, probably Bonds tipped somebody off that he got into a motorcycle accident because him and Bonds had no love for each other. It's funny. Him and Bonds had no love for each other, and and Bonds and Will Clark never had a lot of love for each other.
Well, there was a shortage of love on those teams.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
not. It was not in profusion.
Barry was not an easy guy to get along with.
He's much more adaptable to the situation now.
Yeah, the stories that you hear about Barry and his Pittsburgh teammates, and I got over the years that I was in Pittsburgh, got a chance to talk to quite a few of them. He was not a nice guy,
Mm.
and he committed the cardinal sin in Pittsburgh. He went after the manager, and that's something in a place like Pittsburgh you don't do. You don't go after the coach. You don't go after the manager.
I think he's learned, and too late in most instances, how to behave as a player and as a star. And it's harder for him to have to live with the fact that he ruined his own reputation.
Yeah.
And it's too bad that he did. Ben, I gotta go.
All right, listen.
I gotta
I'll
get to the
see you
doctor.
on Friday.
Beautiful Friday, a Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday. Take it easy. Have fun at the doctor, and I will catch up with you on Friday morning if the Lord's willing. The creek don't rise. Take care, Michael.
The creek is going to rise. I'm telling you.
Yeah, the creek over here is it's waiting. I don't know. Hopefully, it's going to stay under the banks. All right, man. See you on Friday.
See you, Ben. See you, everyone.
All right, Mike.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And thank you all for listening, too. Appreciate it. And we will catch up with you on Friday at 10:10, our regular time. I was doing something here as I was trying to. I was doing something as I was trying to do something. Does that make any sense at all? Oh, some days, Vincent, some days. Anyway, yeah, I will see you guys on Friday at 10:10. I'm just looking for something that okay, this is supposed to all right, there you go.